Hi, I'd like to give you a small tour of our chemistry Schoology page so you know how you can support your child in being successful in chemistry. So this is a Schoology page that as a student would see it. This is a fake account I made for my daughter so that you can see what things would look like. So this is what the page looks like. If you look on the very front, very first thing you'll see is this little cartoon, and it has my contact information. In addition, it has my remind code. This is a quick way to communicate. It's almost like texting. So the students get communications really quickly there, and you're welcome to join as well. And if you scroll down, you will see where it says link to our virtual classrooms and teams. If your child, for any reason, gets unenrolled in the class teams, they can access it through there and request enrollment again. If you scroll down, this is where the course content is kept for the students. But for you as parents, we have a parent resource folder. In that parent resource folder are things like information about me, my contact information on tutorial schedules, things like that. In addition, I will send an email out every single Sunday morning, and I will also post it here under the newsletter folder. A couple other things I want to show you before we get to grades. If you look all the way to the left, you have something called updates. Right now we're in materials. You look at updates, and that's where I communicate with the students, and you may see it as well as a parent. For instance, I sent this on Friday. It was a little wrap up for the week saying this is what we've learned. This is what we've learned. This is what we're going to do next week. And you will need your calculator. They need to purchase a calculator. It has to be a scientific calculator. It should not cost more than $10, but they need to have a scientific calculator by their next class on Tuesday. It also talks about their first test. It talks about all the action items we have. They have a signed safety contract, which is due the 24th. They had to fill out an introduction form. That's also due the 24th. They've had that since the first day of school. There is a Schoology safety quiz that must be completed. It was assigned on Wednesday. It is due on Monday. They've had plenty of time to do it. And they also have their first actual assignment is due on Monday night. They can do it 2 times. So if they get anything wrong, they can go back and reevaluate those questions and try again to give them a chance to do better and actually interface with the material a little bit more. And there's a bit more information. I've also sent other information to them. I've sent them more forms in case they lose them, things like that. So that's where you have information there. If you go all the way to the left, you get to your grades. So if you click on grades, it'll show you grades. So I want to explain to you how the grades look. First, we have this section up here called Check for Understanding. That is not grades that will go into Skyward. That is just for you as a parent and as a student to check their progress in class to see how they're doing before the grade counts. But one of the things I will be putting here is their engagement in the class. So some students have been logging on to class, keeping their cameras off and walking away. So they're not engaging with the material and they're not going to learn the material that way. So I've built an engagement into all of my lessons, which requires an action item from them. So in this situation for this week, I wrote, so you can kind of see what it looks like. I wrote that my child was 60% engaged in class. That means out of all the engagement tasks, they did 60% of them. So here it says, do not fully engage with the near part. What you want to see is 100 every week. That means they're sitting there, they're listening, and they're learning, and they're interacting. A couple of things I want you to see. That there under Check for Understanding will not be in Skyward. Then we have our daily grades and our major grades. Major grades are tests. The first one will be on the September 1st. That's the first test. So right now there's not anything there. But in terms of daily grades, they have 3 grades coming in. They have their safety quiz that they have to take, safety test that they have to take. They must score 90% on it. They can take it as many times as they need to, but they must score 90% to be able to do labs when we're back to face-to-face. But I did mark it that is missing for the student, and I just wanted you to see what that looks like. They'll have a little code, a little hexagon, and it'll say missing next to it. If something is not due yet, and so it hasn't been entered, you'll see a line there. So this isn't until the 24th. It's got a little line there because there's nothing entered. It's not late yet. There's no grade for it yet. And then here we have signed safety contract and intro form. Those 2 things were each worth 50% to give you a total of 100%. This child turned in one thing. What was missing? I look over here in the comments, and it says missing signed safety contract. So once that gets turned in, that will be changed. So that is how your grades will look. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me. I'm just an email away, and I look forward to working with you and your child. Thank you.